So what is that dream you're holding in your mind right now? Take a second and just really picture it. I don't know what that dream is for you, and honestly, I don't really care how incredibly disappointing the dream might have been for you so far as you've been working toward it, but I need you to hear this loud and clear right off the bat. That dream you're holding in your mind, it is completely possible. Even if you've been knocked down time and time again, even if the road has been literally nothing but frustrating up to this point, that possibility is still there, just waiting for you to seize it.
All right, welcome to today's Explainer. We're going to dive right into a phenomenal framework that basically strips away all the excuses and maps out what it actually takes to build a truly unstoppable mindset. We'll be looking at exactly how to overcome those inevitable failures, why radical self-investment is literally your only true way out, and how to forge a mentality that just flat out refuses to quit. So if you're looking to change your life, you are in exactly the right place. Let's get into it. Look, let's not sugarcoat this. The path, it's hard, period. Expect massive disappointment, expect failure, and yeah, expect pain, because changing your life is incredibly difficult. In the process of working on your dreams, you are going to slam into moments of intense self-doubt. You're going to face times where you just look up and go, why is this happening to me? I'm just trying to take care of my family. I'm doing all the right things. Why is this so hard? This explainer isn't about telling you it's going to be a walk in the park. It's about validating that struggle, because the hardship is a guaranteed part of the process.
But here's the thing. When you hit those incredibly low moments of doubt, the source material throws us an absolute lifeline. The rough times are going to come, but they have not come to stay, they have come to pass. For those of you who have been going through some severe hardships lately, please do not give up on your dream. Pain and hardship are simply temporary phases in the pursuit of your goals. Think of them like weather patterns just moving over your life. You have to endure them knowing that eventually the storm is going to break.
Now, what I find truly fascinating is how this framework completely redefines our ultimate goal. We tend to think of greatness as this wonderful, esoteric, elusive, almost godlike feature that only a few special, lucky people among us will ever get to taste, right? But the framework just completely destroys that myth. Greatness is something that truly exists in all of us. It is already inside you. But it's absolutely crucial for you to deeply believe that you are the one who can actually bring it out. You have to believe you're capable of it.
And this brings us to a pretty stark choice. On one hand, you've got most people. They raise a family, they earn a living, and then they die. They completely stop growing, they stop stretching, they stop pushing themselves, and then they usually complain about their situation without doing anything to fix it. But then you have the uncommon breed. These are the hungry risk-takers, the totally unstoppable, unreasonable people who just demand more from life. When you decide to become that person, you start separating yourself from the complacent crowd and you join that uncommon breed.
So it begs the question, right? Why do people stay stuck in that complacent crowd? Why do most people abandon their dreams? Well, the source identifies the exact roadblocks. First up, it's the classic fear of failure, like, what if things don't work out? But surprisingly, the fear of success can actually be just as paralyzing. People secretly worry, what if this does work out and I just can't handle it? On top of that, people get totally paralyzed by a desperate need for approval. They spend so much time trying to get everyone to like them, investing all their time in studying other people, that they completely forget to invest in themselves.
And that desperate need for approval, it leads right into a massive trap, becoming a copycat. Think about this quote. As long as you being a copycat, you will never, ever be the best copycat in the world, but you will be the best you could be. When you spend all your time hanging out with other people, trying to be exactly like them, you lose your own unique identity. You've invested so much time in them, you literally don't even know who you are anymore. If you want greatness, you have to stop following the herd. You have to define your own value.
Reclaiming that identity, though, requires some painful action. The source is incredibly blunt about this. It is absolutely necessary to get the losers out of your life if you actually want to live your dream. You have to align yourself with people who are hungry, people who are rebuilding their lives and actively want more. And yeah, that means shedding those negative influences. You've got to get to a point where people who don't align with your vision just don't bother you anymore, simply because you aren't concerned with making them happy at the expense of your own growth.
Okay, so how do we actually do this? How do we reach that next economic or personal level? Well, you're not getting there until you start radically investing in your own mind. Here are the actionable steps straight from the source. Step 1, be alone and get to know yourself. Step 2, read books. Seriously, start feeding your mind. Step 3, go to conferences. Invest your time and resources into expanding your worldview. You have to actively make the choice to stop being a victim of your circumstances and start being a student of your own potential. I really want to zoom in on that first step because it's honestly the most intimidating. I dare you to spend an hour to get to know yourself. I love how this is framed as a dare. We are so terrified of our own silence, so terrified of facing our own thoughts, that sitting alone for just one single hour feels like a massive challenge. But that solitary reflection, it's vital. It's in that hour of isolation that you figure out who you were uniquely created and designed to be, completely separate from all the noise and the expectations of the outside world.
Because once you figure out who you are, you hit on this absolute game changer of a truth. Someone else's opinion of you does not have to become your reality. Wow. Think about that. Not everybody is going to see your value. Not everybody is going to join you. And not everybody will understand your vision. And you know what? That is perfectly fine. You do not have to go through life playing the victim to other people's limitations. Even if absolutely no one else on earth sees the potential for your life, you have to see it for yourself.
To survive this whole journey, you've got to have a battle-hardened mindset. You need to be able to look at your circumstances and declare, this is what I believe, and I'm willing to die for it, period. That is the level of intensity we're talking about here. When you're staring down massive obstacles, you can't just be mildly interested in success. You have to look at your circumstances, no matter how incredibly bad they get, and confidently say, I am going to make it. You have to want to represent pure possibility.
Because let's be real here, your resolve is going to be tested hard. The source paints the bleakest, most realistic picture of this creative and entrepreneurial struggle. You are going to face endless rejection, you'll hear no over and over, you'll schedule a big meeting and literally no one will show up. People will say, you can count on me, and then just totally flake. You might even hit rock bottom where the lights get cut off, where you've lost again and again and again, and it feels like absolutely nobody believes in you.
But it is in that exact moment, when the lights are out, when everyone else is thrown in the towel, that you look at your dream, you review it in your mind, and you say out loud, it's not over until I win. That right there is the emotional climax of the unstoppable mindset. It's this unbreakable, victorious resolve. You don't stop when you're tired. You don't stop when you're rejected. You hold on to that vision with every single ounce of energy you have, knowing that the power to change your outcome rests entirely in your own hands. You really can live your dream.
So I want to leave you with a really direct question. If you are still out there just talking about your dream, if you're always talking about your goals, but you haven't actually done a single thing to move the needle, will you take the very first step today? Just take the first step. You have the power to make your family proud, to touch millions of lives, and to ensure the world is never the same just because you were here. Do not let anybody steal your dream. What is the one single action you are going to take right now, today, to prove you're ready for greatness? Think about it.